Welcome to What Happens After the Show, the TikTok live review show where we cover yesterday's day in wrestling. And today, we are talking about WWE Raw from Monday, March 18th, 2024. Started off with Jey Uso coming down to the ring. Now, the crowd response was wild for Jey coming down to the ring. Jey calls Jimmy to the ring, and Jimmy and Solo make their way through the crowd. I loved both entrances. Their back and forth really built interest for me in this match. I was already interested in it, but just how passionate the promo was. And, you know, the fans call for Cody as he's heading down to the ring to help bail Jimmy out from the attack. And this is great with kind of having the interaction with Cody and the Bloodline, further building up the Jimmy and Jey match. Out of this great opening segment, we went to a video featuring the Last Woman Standing match. Just production value through the roof on this, getting you ready for what's going to end up being the main event of the show tonight. Cuts to Becky arriving at the arena, and the first actual match of the night we are getting is DIY versus the Creed brothers. This is a tag team qualifying match. When they return from the break, Adam Pearce is on a phone call and gets interrupted by Paul Heyman. Heyman apologizes for Solo and Jimmy earlier and leaves us with the point that when Heyman conducts his official business, everyone will be caught off guard. So you gotta wonder what that means. When the match itself starts, they really put over the Creed brothers' wrestling credentials. The Creed brothers look strong as hell in this match. But in the end, it's a reversal that gets DIY the win. And it's great to see DIY win. I'm interested to see them go on to WrestleMania. This match was followed by Andrade and Judgment Day backstage. Judgment Day will be watching Andrade's match next week. JD's loss from last week is addressed, and it's going to be Dom taking care of business versus Ricochet tonight. And I gotta ask, because they played a commercial break for the AEW Superstar Sunday, has anybody been watching the WWE block on Sundays, whether it's the Legends show or the Rival show? Now, this backstage segment was followed up by Katana Chance and Kayden Carter versus Candace, LaRae, and Indi Hartwell. And good tag match, but a lot of attention was paid to the last week. You could tell they're invested in getting Candace LaRae over as a heel. And I'm interested to see where this goes. Possibly down the line, could we see Candace LaRae versus Maxine Dupree? This was followed by a video covering The Rock on SmackDown. And then after this, Cody makes his way to the ring, responds to The Rock's promo and concert on Friday, brings up Rock's mom. Built up to two different, real big pops in his promo where he called Rock a whiny bitch, and then later built to a line about little dick syndrome. So after that, Cody says The Rock is Roman's side chick, and this prompts Paul Heyman to come out. Cody and Roman Reigns will be face-to-face on SmackDown on Friday, and Heyman promises Cody that no member of the Bloodline will be there besides Heyman. So we're going to have to tune in Friday to SmackDown to see if Heyman is going to keep his word. This is followed by Nia Jax backstage, letting us know that Becky Lynch has never beaten Nia Jax. That is an interesting fact that I didn't know going in, but it puts that seed of doubt in your mind that maybe Nia will get the win again here tonight. This was followed by the Ricochet Dominic Mysterio match. Said earlier, this is a response to Ricochet eliminating JD from the gauntlet. After the break, Cody runs into Jey Uso backstage, and Jey warns him about the Bloodline, offers his assistance, but Cody says he's going it alone. So you got to wonder, will that be good for Cody on Friday, or will it not? And back to the match. This is the best Ricochet match in a while. He looked real good during it, got the win. After the win, JD attacked Ricochet. Could we be building to some kind of JD Ricochet match, or maybe a tag match involving the two at WrestleMania? This was followed by Sammy running into Gable backstage. Sammy comes up to Gable, tells him it was an honor last week, and you can see Chad is kind of cold to him. Gable says this WrestleMania thing meant more to Chad than it did to Sammy, and Gable tells Sammy that he can't beat Gunther. And, we follow Sami Zayn out to the ring, and it's the Sami Zayn-Gunther contract signing. Gunther starts off by saying this is the biggest contract signing for the biggest prize, and Sammy's dressed like any random person in the crowd. Sammy really makes a case for why he believes he should beat Gunther, and I love the camera following Sammy out of the ring and through the backstage area and passes the Awesome Truth talking backstage as he's heading out. And this had a funny moment where Indus walks in and R-Truth looks at him and said he feels bad for the guys that have to fight them. Seth Rollins, Seton, how you doing tonight, bud? Double tap that screen if you like this review. Share so we can get more people in here. And you got to remember, you can only comment live if you're live on TikTok. So you got to follow us. Otherwise, we will be putting the footage up on our podcast feed, on our video feed. But to comment, you got to be here live. And this match was followed by Awesome Truth versus Indus. Indus looked like killers in there. They had some offense till Truth went on a run. Truth got knocked back onto a member of Indus, ended up getting the win for his team. Awesome Truth goes on. This was followed by we return to Sammy and Chad backstage. Sammy asks Gable why he doesn't think Sammy will beat Gunther. Gable talks about Sammy always taking the window of opportunity in his matches, and he really needs to change his mentality to get the win. This is followed by a CM Punk comeback video. CM Punk promises he will be at WrestleMania. This is followed by Drew McIntyre making his way to the ring. Seth comes out like right as Drew is making his way down the steps. Seth starts off his promo by professing himself a spotlight junkie. Drew is just sick of the joking around. Tells Seth that he will beat him at WrestleMania. And right now, all Drew cares about is Seth making it to WrestleMania so Drew can get the moment that he earned. We follow this up with Becky Lynch backstage, asking the camera, why would she risk it all? She tells us she's always taken risks, and she will be the last woman standing tonight. So another great backstage promo hyping up this match. And we go from Becky Lynch backstage to New Day versus Alpha Academy. And Otis started off with Woods, really showed off his power. It was a fairly even match throughout. You see Otis doing more for Alpha Academy than Tozawa. New Day gets the win when Woods hits Tozawa with the limit break. So New Day moving on. It's great to see this ladder match taking more shape at WrestleMania. We followed up this match where we go back to Becky Lynch backstage, and this time Liv Morgan walks in. Becky asks Liv if she has to keep an eye out for her. Liv says tonight Becky has Nia all to herself. And I don't know if anybody else had this. I was watching this on the Sling app, but there was a weird audio issue with someone else's audio bleeding through while Liv talked. Followed this up by Cody running into Seth backstage. Seth, much like Jay earlier, asks Friday one-on-one. Cody says one-on-one and, moves on. So we're really possibly going to get Cody Rhodes confronting the Bloodline by himself Friday. And the main event of Monday Night Raw tonight, Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax, last woman standing match. And this was a really good Raw-style hardcore match. Nia put a beating on Becky and really made it look like Becky's WrestleMania chances could be in jeopardy. My favorite move that Nia did was Nia put a chair across Becky Lynch's neck and then sat on it. You would get the idea that Becky would be trapped here for that 10 count on the last woman standing match. But there's a kendo stick in the ring. Becky starts brutalizing Nia's back with it. I'm going to say this is the match that turned my opinion of Nia Jax around. I was never been too, particularly impressed with her in the ring, but this match, I'm interested to see where Nia goes next, because I thought this really brought her out as that impossible goal that you have to beat. And in the end, Becky beats Nia with a leg drop off of a ladder through an announce table and gets the win. So that was Monday Night Raw tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing what WWE NXT does tomorrow night, because they are also ramping up to a WrestleMania weekend event with Stand and Deliver. It's going to be interesting to see what AEW does Thursday night on Dynamite, because you've got Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland for that TNT Championship in an I Quit match. You have Eddie Kingston versus Kazuchika Okada for the Continental Crown Championship. And one thing that I'm going to compare Raw to Dynamite last week, they did both feature women in the main event. The reason why Raw has the edge, besides just being a wild match, is that even though I like all the competitors that are in the AEW match, it really wouldn't have had that main event spot had Sasha not debuted there. And I'm a big Willow Nightingale fan, but her and Riho, I don't know if it would have been there were it not for that. So great to see women's matches main eventing shows, no matter if we think they should be there or not. I'm just a guy giving my opinion, and if you want to catch my opinion, subscribe, follow our TikTok channel. That way you can comment live, have your comments read, like Seth Rollins / Seton is watching the NXT right now. Thank you for joining us. Come back and see us tomorrow, where we will talk about NXT. Come back Thursday, where we will talk about Dynamite, and we might even talk TNA on Friday, but we will have to see.